Welcome back. As you can imagine, when you have a show called Cattlemen to Cattlemen, you're always on the hunt for a great steak. We've been lucky enough to eat at some fantastic restaurants that proudly serve U.S. beef. Reporter Russell Nemetz tracked down an outstanding San Diego steakhouse and butcher shop in the historic Gaslamp Quarter.
Today finds us in the historic and beautiful Gaslamp district of downtown San Diego, and as we get ready to set sail for San Diego for the 2016 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show, a must-stop and a must-do experience here in downtown San Diego is the Cowboy Star Restaurant and Butcher Shop. And with us is one of the owners, John Weber. And John, honestly, from the moment I stepped foot into your establishment here, I fell in love. It's almost like a collision of the Old West and the 21st century here.
Absolutely. Thanks for saying that, by the way. I appreciate that. When you do step through the door, our goal is to surround you with kind of an experience, take you away from your everyday, and just give you 2 hours where you're not thinking about the outside world, and we're just gonna take you in and give you a great experience.
You know, in the bar section, folks are going to find out that they're going to have a great experience there ahead of their dinner, but they're going to probably notice there aren't any TVs, there aren't any outside world distractions, if you will.
Absolutely. Like I said, our goal was to really surround you with the Cowboy Star experience. We call it the CSE. We want you to come in and not have to worry about your day-to-day or what's happening on the news or anything like that. And so that was kind of our decision, was to make that bold statement and not have TVs in the space.
You know, despite the beautiful Pacific Ocean just steps away from here in downtown San Diego, we need to shout it out that San Diego's a steak town.
San Diego's absolutely a steak town. We've been open for about just finished our 7th year, and I would absolutely say San Diego's a steak town.
Of course, we're going to have thousands and thousands of cattlemen and cattlewomen coming to San Diego the end of January for the 2016 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show. And like I said, from the moment they walk in, they're going to love the decor.
Absolutely. We want to be able to resonate with, someone that is, has an experience with the beef industry. And if you look around, we have the cowhide furniture, and, just hopefully it resonates with them a little bit.
I, for one, like the old style round booths when you're eating a fantastic steak here at the Cowboy Star.
Yeah, we wanted to bring in that feeling of kind of the old world steakhouse, but we still wanted to have kind of a new twist on things. And so the booths were absolutely something that, in my mind, the way I envisioned a restaurant like this, we just had to have them.
You know, speaking of a wonderful eating experience, something fantastic here at the Cowboy Star is also the open kitchen area where folks get to have a dialogue with the very people preparing their food.
Absolutely. So the open kitchen is probably one of my favorite places. I would say that the chef's counter seating is the best seating in the restaurant. We wanted that to be part of the experience that we've been talking about, where you can come in and talk to the person that's actually creating your food and see what they're doing, and it becomes very interactive, where we'll have guests asking for recipes, or hey, can I try that? What is that? A lot of times the chefs will be preparing a little something, and if they have some left over, say, hey, will you try this for me? But it's a great spot to, it's part of the show. Yep. And what we wanted also to do is, even if you're not sitting at those seats, all of the chairs and the dining room kind of looks at the open kitchen. There's one table 106, and it's a really small table for 2 people, so it's kind of like a intimate table. It's the only table in the restaurant that faces slightly away from the open kitchen. We did that on purpose.
All right, now you said you're originally from Chicago, and of course back in the day a lot of cattle were railed into the old Chicago stockyards. How did you come up with bringing, an old style steakhouse into this area of San Diego?
Well, my mom would kill me because I'm actually originally from Indiana. I lived in Chicago. So I grew up seeing farms, and of course ours were all soybean and corn. But the idea of bringing a steakhouse to San Diego was, it was kind of something that I saw that was missing in San Diego, and it was that concept that kind of was based on the Old West. And growing up in the Midwest, the West is just this very it's this very romantic thing, and it's like you watch it on TV, and I grew up watching these old black and white movies of these cowboys, and there was a good guy and a bad guy, and you always knew who was who because, by the music that was playing or by the hat they were wearing, and if you wanted to go from point A to point B, you just got on your horse and you rode that way. and it was just such a simpler time. And so, my idea with creating a restaurant that was just based on the Old West, as I started to really put it together, I thought, you know what, I want more people to get involved with this, and to have and I wanted to touch them. So I started to really think about that same time period, the 20s and 30s, and how could I romanticize the Old West a little bit? And so I kept going back to Hollywood in the 20s and 30s, and champagne bottles popping and cabaret. And so I put those two ideas together, the West and Hollywood, and came up with the Hollywood Cowboy Star. And so that's really how we got the name of Cowboy Star, was the combination of those two ideas.
Well, you guys have done a fantastic job, and one more time for all those cattlemen and cattlewomen coming to San Diego at the end of January for the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show, you promised they're going to have one of the greatest beef eating experiences they've ever had.
I don't promise it, I guarantee it. They will absolutely love what they're having. We're just showcasing their hard work, to tell you the truth. We're just taking all their hard work and putting it on a plate and doing our best to really showcase what they're doing.
There you go. Folks, I promise you, you're going to love it here at the Cowboy Star in downtown San Diego. Reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, I'm Russell Nemetz.